Hi everybody, I'm Dr. John Douillard and welcome to LifeSpa.com, where we prove the ancient medical wisdom of Ayurveda with modern science. And right now, as you can see, I'm holding the Mito red light therapy handheld unit on my head, hopefully to grow some hair. You would be surprised at the amount of science that shows that red and infrared light can actually grow hair. So that's what we're going to talk about today. We're going to talk about red and infrared light, the therapy, the science. We're going to talk about the history. We're going to dive into this really deep. And I want to thank the Mito Red Light Therapy Company for allowing me to kind of use the red light handheld unit, and also the larger unit here as well. They make amazing red lights. We're going to dive into that as well. Okay, so let's talk about red and infrared light. What does it do? How does it work? Well, first of all, we should know that the average American spends 90% of their time indoors. And back in the day when we had incandescent light bulbs that would burn your hand when you would touch them, those incandescent lights, they had all the frequencies of the visual light spectrum, from blue all the way to red, or violet all the way to red. But when we went into the LED lights, they don't burn your hand. They don't have any infrared light. They're mostly just blue light. So what was happened in the last, many years really, as we've even slowly become infrared light deficient and red light deficient. Sadly, we're not spending as much time outside, and also while we're inside, we're not getting the benefit of the incandescent lights blasting visible light and infrared light around our home. And that becomes a real problem. The infrared light is a different frequency. It's the kind of the slower frequency of the visual light spectrum. And those slower waves, they actually penetrate deeply into our tissues, where the higher frequencies, the ultraviolet light and the blue lights, they bounce a lot. And they're very high frequency, and they are blocked by the atmosphere. So in the morning time at sunrise, which we all should sort of be there for the beginning of the day, the UV radiation is blocked by the atmosphere. So when you're looking at a sunrise or a sunset, you're getting pretty much exclusive red and infrared light. There's an old saying that says if you're standing in the sunrise and the sun is making a shadow that's longer than you are tall, you're getting mostly red and infrared light, that you're not getting any of the UV radiation. Well, do you ever wonder why a cow or an elk or a deer can be outside in the freezing cold winter and they can just hang out there standing still, grazing, and seem to not be bothered by it? Well, the sun in the winter is in the southern hemisphere, if you're in the northern hemisphere. And that means that the UV radiation is also in the southern hemisphere. So what we have mostly here is the infrared light that penetrates deeply into the tissues, even through the skull into our brain, and activates the production of mitochondrial energy. Remember from biology class, we have this stuff called ATP, adenosine triphosphate. Well, that's actually increased production inside of our cells as a result of the exposure to infrared and red light. Red and infrared light that you get in the sunrise and the sunset will actually increase the production of mitochondrial energy through an enzyme called the cytochrome C oxidase enzyme. And this is what it makes the magic of infrared light. First, that its ability to penetrate deeply into the tissues. Second, because it activates and reaches the mitochondria within your cells and increases the production of ATP. Whenever you have more ATP, you live longer, you're healthier, everything functions better, you have less and significantly less inflammation. So the more energy you produce, the less inflammation you have, which is why young children and young people have less inflammation, because their mitochondria are brand new and they're functioning really well. But as we age, we have energy production decline. That's one of the reasons why we age, is that a compromise in mitochondrial function. But if you're exposed to the infrared light outside and the red light outside in the morning and the evening hours, sunrise, sunset, you actually are allowing the body to use that infrared and red light to make more mitochondrial energy. Studies even show that if you are outside in the sunrise, you'll make more mitochondrial energy that will actually help your body make more melatonin at night, which is sort of interesting. So you want to have a better night's sleep, get out in the morning and see the sunrise. There's good science behind that. The other piece of the inflammation puzzle, and there's 8,000 studies now on red and infrared light benefit, and many of them hub around this idea of inflammation, what they do to help kind of mitigate the inflammation pathways. And how it works is not only does it actually help the body make more mitochondrial energy, more ATP, and that just, by definition is going to help you not be inflamed, but there is another piece of the puzzle. Your body inside of your cell, when it makes ATP or energy, there's going to be waste products from that. Just like when you make nuclear energy, there's waste. And it's an issue, right? We know that's the problem with nuclear energy. What do you do with all the waste? Well, the same thing happens inside of our cell. We're making all this energy, but what do we do with all the waste? Well, really interesting is that the sun also, in addition to activating the cytochrome C oxidase enzyme to make ATP, that same infrared light from the sun, the red and infrared light from the sun, activate the same enzyme, the cytochrome C oxidase enzyme, to actually make melatonin, which is a different kind of melatonin than what gets you to sleep at night. It's the melatonin that only lives inside of your cell. And that melatonin is the body's most powerful antioxidant to swab up all the free radical damage from energy production and protect your DNA from damage. One of the causes of accelerated aging is that not only do we not make as much mitochondria, we don't make as much of the melatonin inside the cell to protect the DNA from damage and clean up all the free radicals that are actually caused by energy production. So as we age, we know two things happen. One, we produce less mitochondria. And two, we don't clean up the waste products from mitochondrial energy production as well. And that is exactly what the science tells us the red and infrared light do for us. One, to help us make the energy, and two, swab up all the free radical damage. Both of them lead us to a host of health benefits, sort of all revolving around this inflammation pathway. Studies show that it's really effective for inflammation and irritation of your joints. It's been shown to help people have deeper and better quality sleep. It's been shown to support skin health, and it's a natural precursor to collagen, so your skin looks young and youthful, so you're not seeing a lot of age-related DNA damage on your skin. It also has been shown to boost immunity. Studies showed that the skin has what are called Langerhans cells that actually take junk and toxins from your skin and take it into the skin-associated lymphatic system underneath your skin, here and everywhere, and actually take the trash out of your skin. Anytime your cells are making energy, they're making trash. They have to get the waste out, and they get it out through the skin-associated lymph. But the red and infrared light activate these Langerhans cells to actually take the trash from the skin into the skin-associated lymph and take the trash out and enhance the production of the skin-associated lymphatic tissue, which is trying to do the skin and the lymph in your whole body is trying to take out the trash, deliver energy, and also carry your immune system, which is a really important piece of the immune puzzle, that your body's getting the trash out and that lymphatic system is circulating. It's been shown to support wound healing and muscle recovery and many other things. So the red and infrared light is really something special. Now, the other idea is that the better the quality of light, or the longer you're exposed to that light, the deeper it will penetrate. So the cows out there in the field in the dead of winter, they're just getting constantly blasted by red and infrared light. When the sun is in the southern hemisphere, what we have mostly here is infrared light. When you would go for a walk in the forest, the UV radiation, which is potentially damaging, gets blocked by all the leaves on the trees. But what the red and infrared light does, and particularly infrared light, is it bounces off the ground, bounces off the leaves, and bounces and bounces and bounces until you actually get a blasting, bombarding effect while you're going through a forest. You're getting this sort of nature therapy, forest bathing benefit. And much of the benefit that's been studied, that people just go in the woods and feel better, and many things feel better. It's not only the air is different. There's microbes in the air that are different than in a city, but it's also the light is purely and mostly infrared light that you're being bombarded with. In the middle of the day, if we're in the sun, that UV radiation can be damaging. But if you're in the morning light and you're getting that infrared light, it actually provides a level of protection for your skin so you don't have damage from the UV radiation in the middle of the day. And then in the evening, in the sun around sunset in the afternoon, when the sun is lower in the sky, the UV radiation gets blocked by the atmosphere, and then once again you have mostly exclusive red and infrared light, which heals and repairs any potential damage that you might have had midday from the UV radiation. So it's kind of a really beautiful thing. If we just only lived outside all day, every day, we'd have the infrared light in the morning to protect us from the UV radiation in the midday, and again the infrared light in the afternoon to do any repair. However, it doesn't really work, which is why sometimes having a red light that you can actually have in your home, particularly in the winter. Are we going to get outside in the winter as much as we could? Some of us, for whatever reason, just don't have the ability to get outside as much as they like. That's why I'm a big fan of Mito Red Light Therapy, mitoredlight.com, because they have created something unique about red light. Number one, you want strong lights that will penetrate. But the original red light therapies were just basically kind of reinventing the grow lights that they used for plants, which were just two frequencies of one frequency of red and one frequency of infrared light. But there's from 600 to 1400 nanograms, there's an infinite number of frequencies in the red and infrared, near infrared light spectrum. And now research is beginning to show that many of the other frequencies are really beneficial for many other things. And that's why I did a podcast with the founder of mitoredlight.com. His name is Scott Shivari. He's a brilliant researcher and has so much knowledge about the science of red and infrared light. And he was the first to actually take red light therapies and actually use multiple frequencies that are based on the science to give you a more diverse benefit from your red and infrared light therapy. So instead of just getting one frequency of red light and one frequency of infrared light, he's put multiple in there based on the emerging science to get the most wide and more diverse benefits from red light. I did a podcast interview with Scott. He's a genius. The stuff that he's created is amazing. He's giving our listeners a discount. You just type in LifeSpa to get a discount on their red and infrared lights. They've got mats you can lie on, handheld ones. They got large, medium, small. They've got the whole gamut of red and infrared lights. I highly encourage you to listen to the podcast, learn more about it. Definitely the best way, and Scott agrees, is to get outside. And these are really for the times where you just don't get outside. And we all know that that sometimes is difficult. So a lot of times I'll be here on my computer. I have a little cross-country machine. I'll put it in front of that, or I'll actually work out in front of this red light therapy, or if I'm sitting and I'm watching a movie or whatever, I'll have this handheld and I'll put it on all my broken parts, which I really love this a ton. So anyway, there you have it. Lots of information. There's obviously a full article with all the science behind the red and infrared light therapy. You can read and learn more about that. I encourage you to do that at LifeSpa.com. And if you're listening on any of our social channels, please subscribe. And then while you're at my website, LifeSpa.com, and you're reading the articles, check out our newsletter, sign up for that so you get the information on a regular basis. And of course, we have our Ayurvedic store where you can get all of our organic Ayurvedic herbs and products and skincare and books and tapes and knowledge. All that is available at LifeSpa.com. And don't forget the LifeSpa library, which has got over 1,500 articles and videos, all ancient wisdom with the modern science references and the citations there to give for you to search up your health topic and learn more about how you can take care of your own health. Thanks for listening. I'm Dr. John Douillard. Hi everybody, I just want to take a minute and tell you what we do here at LifeSpa.com. I've been in practice now for 40 years, 38 of them have been practicing Ayurvedic medicine full-time. For the last 20 years, I've been writing articles and doing videos on the ancient medical wisdom of Ayurveda with the modern science. If something's been around for 1,000 years, still practiced today, and you have modern science to prove it, boy, I really feel like that's something we should all be taking a look at. And that's what we do at LifeSpa.com, and all that information is for free. So just go to LifeSpa.com and search in your health topic, and you'll get the information, the article that you need, hopefully that will help you. While you're there, check out our Ayurvedic store. You can get there through LifeSpa.com or go to store.lifespa.com. And there we have all of our organic Ayurvedic herbs, organic skincare line, more books, tapes, knowledge that we give you is all there at our store. All of our cleansing kits are there in our store. All of our herbs are whole herbs with the natural occurring microbiome, the way it came out of the soil. And that's critically important, because if I took the bugs out of you, you'd be completely different. We take the bugs away from a plant, like sterilizing, making an extract, or spraying your food with pesticides, you lose significant benefit of that plant. And that's why we use the whole plant with the natural occurring microbiome. So check us out, learn more about what we're doing here at LifeSpa.com, and we'll see you again.
This recording is brought to you by LifeSpa, where ancient Ayurvedic wisdom meets modern science. Get access to free health video newsletters by Dr. John at LifeSpa.com. These statements have not been evaluated by the FDA. These products are not intended to diagnose, treat, cure, or prevent any disease.